Alright guys, we are picking up where we left off. We just recently added a new sprite to our skateboard and we have a ball. It's still the old picture. I'm probably going to change that on my own time, and you can do the same for yours. You could just watch the same video if you're confused about that and use the new sprite that you've drawn. If you look over here in the bottom left, I have already got my other two. I've got the brick that I'm going to use, and I've got the ball. I just haven't added it on top of that, and I don't think I'm going to do that in this video. This video we're going to add some bricks, and we're going to make the ball be able to break them. So let's get started with that. Just like we added the node for the walls so we can hide away all the walls, we're also going to do the same for the bricks. So I'm going to hit the top node, level 1. I'm going to hit the plus sign, and I'm going to do node 2D. Now I'm going to call this bricks. So all of my bricks are going to get put into this node. So just like this, I can hide those. I'm going to hide the bricks in here. The fortunate thing for us is the bricks use the same character or the same object as the walls, which is the static body. So we should already know how to do that. I'm going to hide the walls for a second, and I'm going to click bricks, and I'm going to add our first brick in here. I'm going to hit the plus sign. I'm going to look for the static body 2D. I'm going to go ahead and set this as my favorite because I know I'm going to probably use this again. So there we go, static body 2D. I'm going to hit create. It's giving me a warning. It's going to say no collision, but you know, we still haven't even added the picture, so let's do that. Click add. I'm going to save this right here, this sprite. It's going to be one of my favorites too, so I put it on the favorites list. I'm going to hit create. Now I have the sprite here, no picture added yet. I'm going to add my brick. Let's see if it adds the brick without being fuzzy, because we tried to set that preset the other day, or the last video. Yep, it did do it correctly. If that is still fuzzy for yours, you can hit import, preset, 2D pixel, and then re-import. 2D pixel, re-import. That will allow that block to not be fuzzy. Now, I need to pick the size of this brick, and I'm going to use the ball as a reference here. So the brick needs to be bigger than the ball. So there's the ball, and I'm going to go to this, and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. But we can go ahead and put our collision shape, so why don't we do that? So click your static body 2D, click the plus sign, and go to collision shape 2D, create. Now it's there, we just haven't told it what shape. So in the top right, I'm going to say I need a rectangle shape here, and I am going to use my selector and make it fit. Now it's kind of small right now, but that's okay because we can make it bigger after we get everything set. There it is. Perfect. Cool. Let's lock this in place with our child locks, and I'm going to rename this brick. Alright, brick, and let's choose the size now compared to the ball. So I just zoomed out. I can see the ball. I want the brick to be larger than the ball. If you want yours not to be, you could do that too. It's fine. I'm stretching this thing. I want it to be bigger. No, oops, I didn't grab that. I was trying to grab the red brick or the red square, and I messed it up. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. I mean, maybe a little smaller, but I like that. Okay, so I'm done with this. It's locked. I'm going to get off the scale button so I don't accidentally mess it up. And we are going to back out. That's the brick's too big. I'm going to shrink it. Maybe I'm too picky, but that's too big. That was a giant Mungo brick. Okay. Getting better. I didn't realize how big. Okay. Okay, here we go. I'm going to move the ball back to where it was. I'm going to move the brick and put it somewhere near where I want it. Now there's one more thing we got to do to this, and this is going to be useful for breaking the bricks. So in order to break the bricks, we need to put this in a group, into basically like the enemies group, so we know we're hitting an object that something needs to happen to it. So select your brick. In the top right hand corner, we're going to go to node and group. It's right up here right by the inspector. Node, group, and then call this brick. This is a part of the bricks group. I have a capital B and I have a lowercase everything else. That is important. If you get it, it's important in the sense that your code has to be the same as this. It has to be looking for this exact name. If you call this lowercase b and then in your code you put it uppercase, it won't find it. So pay attention to what you actually name this. Okay, so that's called bricks, capital B, lowercase everything else, and it's plural. Okay, so when it's in a group, you can see it gives it this little dot and a square here, and perfect. Now I'm good. This is good, perfect, bricks ready to go. I can start copying it and putting it in place. I am going to turn on my snapping. So when it's on, it's lit up in blue, and then I'm going to select my brick and I'm just going to use Control D. It's going to copy that and it's going to move over. I still have my snapping set crazy mode. I'm going to change this to 50 by 50. Too big for me. And how I got to that is I clicked these three dots, and then I went to configure snap here, and then I said grid step is 50 by 50. Now it should snap a little bit closer together. This thing drives me crazy sometimes. Sometimes I don't understand why it does that. But anyway, I'm going to go to the next brick. I'm selecting on this one. I'm going to do Control D. I'm going to move it over. Control D. Now I'm starting to rack up some bricks here, and you can see why it is important to have a certain group. Man, that's just going to drive me nuts. I'm going to configure snap again, and I'm going to set this to like 20 by 20, and this better be better, I hope. So smaller. Okay, that I can work with that. I can get those closer and I can deal with that. Okay, so here we go again. I'm gonna select this guy, Control D. I don't like where these are spaced out. So all I'm doing is copying my bricks, putting them where I want them, and I like them to be nice and neat. You'll notice that when I use that Control D, it copies it and puts it right on top of the old one, so you'll have to actually pull it off of the old one. I'm not going to add any more. This is enough to continue showing you. So I've got some bricks here. I've got several. Looks like I got about, I don't know, 14, 15, 16 bricks, something like that. Now when I hit play, the ball is going to be able to bump into them, but they're not going to break yet. That's because we need to add some code to this guy, and then when we do that, it'll make it where they can be broken. Move that over just a little bit. Okay, so you're going to go to Neo to get this code. So here's Neo, and we're looking for the rigid body 2D. Here is our code. We're going to copy this code. Control C. And I'm going to put this into the rigid body ball, and we will go over what it actually is doing. So I'm going to select the ball. I'm going to add a script. I'm going to hit create, and I'm going to wipe out all this other stuff. Control V, paste it, and there we go. So just a brief overview of what's happening here. It basically says it's got it's creating a variable and it's calling it bodies. And inside of this bodies, we're going to tell the ball, what are you bumping into? Whatever the ball is bumping into, it's going to store it into into this variable called bodies. Okay, so if you're bumping into brick 1, it gets, okay, now brick 1 is stored inside of here. This is a for loop, and what a for loop does, it says anything inside of here, we're going to check it out and see what it is. And so for every object that it's bumping into, it's going to go through this loop and do something. So for every single object inside of that, it's going to look at it and it's going to do something. What's it going to do? It's going to see, are you inside of the group bricks? Brick. B-R-I-C-K. Now remember I said that one had an S in it. So if I left it like this and push play, it's not going to work. I need to make sure it's exactly the same. Here, let me show you. I'm going to go to this group here, B-R-I-C-K-S. It's got to have that S on there. Go back. This needs an S. S. Bricks. Are you a part of the bricks group? If you are, I want you to go away. That's what this line says. Q free means get destroyed. Disappear from the game, and I don't want you there anymore. If you're a part of the bricks group, go away. Alright, so that's what this does. I'm going to hit play, and here we go. The ball's bouncing. Let's see if it hits the brick, and boom. Brick is gone. Done and done. We did it. We are breaking bricks now. Alright, that's all we needed to do in this particular video. We will be doing some more stuff later. See you in the next one.